Right, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm doing a bit of a different video, as you saw from the title, the hypocrisy of the far left. Now, I'm not lumping all of the left in with this, and I'm certainly no hater of the left. I'm no lover of the right either. I think there's pros and cons between each political leaning. I think fanatical, so far left and far right, are never good. I don't think fanatical anything could be deemed good or appropriate. And I just thought I would highlight just how pathetic this really is. And I'm sure I could find one on the right as well. But this is befitting my channel because it's to do with the industry. And currently, the TV industry and the movie industry and Hollywood in general is very, very far left. Very far left. And most commentators on it are very far left. Most outlets such as, most major outlets are far left. This one is the Mary Sue, which I know a lot of people will hear that and immediately laugh. And yeah, it is. It's a hilarious outlet. You can find some pure pieces of comedy gold on there. And this is very, very, very hypocritical. So, what have we got here? Well, this Julia Pennyworth casting choice in Batwoman is wrong. Why? Why is it wrong? Well, it's because she ain't black. Okay, now, sorry, isn't this the same outlet that published an article saying Jeffrey Wright is going to be a perfect Commissioner Gordon in the Batman? Yes, they did. So why is one okay and why is one not? Well, your guess is as good as mine, to be perfectly honest, because their arguments don't stand up to shit. So let's take a look. Again, anyone with any basic knowledge would look at this and go, I mean, your arguments are flawed. You might as well just come out and say it. And we'll get to what they just need to come out and say in a second. So the article is as follows. Yesterday, Entertainment Weekly released images of Christina Wolfe, the Royals, as Julia Pennyworth, daughter of Alfred Pennyworth. And I felt my eyebrow tweak a little bit because, as I recall, the New 52 established that Alfred's daughter was half black. And visibly black at that. A quick Google search showed that I was correct in this. And I'm not amused in the slightest. Oh, okay. Now this deviation from the source material is something which the left-run Hollywood, the far left-run Hollywood, again, I have to stress that, is something which they are doing currently all the time, but removal of white characters. So this is interesting, isn't it? A deviation from the source material, I hear you say. So let's get into it a little bit further, because it gets better, and their reasons get even more nonsensical. I did a little digging, and yes, at one point, another version of Julia Pennyworth did exist. The character was first created by Jerry Conway and Don Newton in Detective Comics 501, under the name Julia Remarque. In that incarnation, she was a white woman, and her mother was a woman named... And her mother was a woman. Well, her mother wasn't going to not be a woman. What? And her mother was a woman named Mademoiselle Marie. And the character was another non-metahuman reporter. Just what the DC world needed, I guess. This version of Julia was erased from existence following the collapse of the original multiverse in the 1985-86 Crisis on Infinite Earths limited series. Again, this is important. Therefore, the version of the New 52 is the correct canonical incarnation of Julia Pennyworth. So, despite there being precedent for a white Julia Pennyworth, the Mary Sue and, I guess by definition, the far left would have you believe that the only canonical incarnation is a black one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as far as I'm aware, canonically, Commissioner Gordon has never been black. So why are we championing this when we are so absolutely offended at this? That's hypocrisy, is it not? Yes, it is. Don't answer the question, because I know the answer. Now, the Prime Earth, Julia Pennyworth, first appeared as part of the New 52 DC Universe in Batman Volume 2, number 82, number 28. It was created by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV. She and Alfred have a distant relationship, and part of her early introduction is reconciling with her father and becoming part of the Bat family. Now, you might think, well, maybe since there are multiple versions of the character, this show is playing with a different version of Julia. Well, nope. Because when you look at the description of this incarnation of Julia on Entertainment Weekly, they are pulling from the Snyder-Tynion version. Oh, this is interesting, isn't it? In the comics, Alfred and Julia are initially estranged. However, blah, 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 blah. So they're basically saying, yeah, it's from the comics. Again, I repeat, what? Where's your argument? In the comics, it is the half-black version of Julia that has a working relationship with Kate Kane. And it is also hinted that Julia could be queer and finds Kate attractive. Of course it is. According to Entertainment Weekly in the show, Julia will have a complicated past with Kate Kane, which impedes her mission as the two set sights on the same target. So, they can take this version of Julia Pennyworth's origins, storyline and relationships, but can't cast someone who resembles her on a network with a messy history of diversity. What are you talking about? Seriously. Why don't you just come out and say it? It's okay to swap out white characters with black ones because you think that's appropriate, but it's not okay when the precedent is that there is or has been a white character and both black character of the same character. Choosing a white one's bad because you want a black one. Why is the far left okay with this? Seriously. And again, remember, look, we've got comments about people's acting ability here, and I agree. Acting ability is the first and foremost the thing which we should be looking at when people play roles. The colour of their skin is important as well when it's integral to the source material. Again, why are we okay for this? Again, like, look at this. Rights casting also points to them looking for a black actress to play Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl. And that thrills me too. We need more black female superheroes, and as long as they don't go down the killing joke road and have Barbara be brutalised on screen for the sake of her father's pain and Batman's pain, then we should be good. So it's okay. What? Your argument's just completely fallen apart. So it's okay. Literally, just come out and say it. You far left hypocrite. And again, I have to stress this. It's the far left. It's the radical left. It's okay, is it? To just race swap characters. But it's not okay to have a white one? When there's a precedent for it? The hypocrisy is very, very clear. And this is, and again, this is relevant to this channel's content. Right? I was contemplating putting this up on my second channel. But I think this is relevant as well, because this is what Hollywood is doing now. Because it is run by, again, radical left, or at least they're trying to appeal to the radical left, which is this utter trash. It's okay if we swap them out and we have black people, but it's not okay when the precedent is there. And again, I must stress this, a precedent is there. And I've said this, ladies and gents, so before you call me a hypocrite and a racist and a bigot and every name under the sun, I have said this about Black Catwoman as well. There's a precedent for having a Black Catwoman, so that's fine. I don't care about that, because there's a precedent for it. I'm not going to needlessly, bitch and moan about things. Not like these idiots. Not like these hypocrites. So I thought this would be an interesting video, because this really does go to show that you really should just come out and say it. You really should come out and say it. Again, the closing notes here say it all. My only question is why? I mean, it's not like the CW is so drowning in black talent that they couldn't afford to add a canonically black character into the show. This reminds me a lot of what happened with Connor Hawke on Arrow, and I disliked that then, I dislike it now. They read the source material, saw this was a woman of colour, and cast a blonde white woman anyway. Not a good look Batwoman team. Well, by your logic, again, I must stress this, by your own logic, they've read the source material, seen that it's a white guy, but cast a black man instead, and you're excited here about the potential of a black Barbara Gordon. Because black, I guess. Fucking what? Unbelievable. So let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comments. I'd be really curious to hear. And again, I must stress, I'm not right-leaning, I'm not left-leaning. I'm firmly down the middle of common sense. And anyone with half a brain cell, so again, please don't expose yourself as being a moron here. Anyone with half a brain cell can clearly see the hypocrisy. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know down below in the comments. If you want to support me, what I do here in the channel further, check out my merch underneath every single video and linked down below in the description box. I've got Space Jasper merch, as well as my Patreon. Patreon really is a good way to support me. In fact, tonight, this is the 14th of November, I'm hosting a Skype hangout for $10 or more patrons, so check it out. Anyway, guys, thanks so much for watching. For Mr. H, take care. Other than white people... Ah, shush.